Welcome back to the Pioneer Sports Report, and now we have an exclusive look at women's basketball and men's basketball. We were actually at a few of the practices. We've got to see what the Pioneers are going to bring to the table this year, and I'm really excited about both teams.
Yeah, they both are looking to improve over disappointing seasons a year ago. The men's team had about a 500 season a year after going to the national tournament, so they'll be looking to rebound and get back to that standard that Bo Ryan set so many years ago. And then the women's team really looking to rebuild. They got a brand new coach in Megan Wilson, first year. She's not playing with any of her players yet, so you'll have to give her time, but I think in a couple of years you'll start to see the tide turn for women's basketball here at UWP.
And women have put in, they're putting in long practices. I think we're in there is almost 2.5 hours, and I think she's just really trying to work on making this team her own and also just kind of building a faster tempo. I think that was kind of the whole thing. She wanted the defense to play harder. She wants them to limit turnovers while also being explosive down the floor.
Yeah, and their half-court defense was pretty good when they played Northwestern in an exhibition game. They actually forced the Wildcats into a shot clock violation, which is a victory in itself when you're a D3 team playing a Division I team. So their half-court defense looks pretty good. Not sure where all the points are going to come from. They lost Stacia Nemitz, who is their leading scorer from a year ago, and Charity Stolmeister, who participated in a lot of the scoring as well. So they'll be looking to find some scoring and find some defense. They're kind of looking for it all right now, but the addition of Ashley Callahan back, the 6-footer, will really help them down low in the post.
Great, yeah. And let's highlight some of the key players for women's basketball. They're going to have a lot of contributors, but I think one of the top 4 people is definitely one of the top 4 will be Ashley Wolf. She's a senior, 5'6" senior guard from Verona. She averaged 7.6 points per game last season, but I think she's going to look to improve on that. If we go to our next key player, it looks like our next key player will be someone who maybe had a more limited role last year. Mallory Mao, a 5'9" senior from Nelson. She had 7.1 points per game, and she's going to also be looked to carry the scoring load. If we look at our next key player for women's basketball, as we go through the spinning wheel here, Ashley Callahan. She was not with the team last year, but she returns. She's a 6-foot center, a junior from Dubuque, Iowa. She averaged 7.8 points per game in 2008, and she's going to look to help this team out this year. So, we look at this. Ashley Callahan, Claire Pold is another person I want to highlight. She had 9.4 points per game, but I really think she put together some highs last year of 18 points per game, I think, one time. And, I'm not sure of the depth right now because a lot of freshmen on this team, a lot of youth. But I really think that a lot of their players, especially Ashley Wolf and the seniors, Mallory Mao, can help them out with the scoring load.
Yeah, 2 players I would say keep an eye on. Ashley Henry, I believe she's a sophomore or a junior, but she did not see much playing time last year, and she'll be scrappy on the boards as well. And also look out for a freshman named Danielle Hopkins coming off the bench, who is not afraid to shoot it and will get involved offensively, and that's something this Pioneer team is going to need.
And I think Ashley Callahan, we touched about she didn't play last year, but she's coming back this year. They definitely need that presence down below. Being 6 foot, that always helps with the extra height, for sure. So if we also can talk about Megan Wilson, new coach this year. As we talked about, she's trying to instill this new game plan into her players. And what have you seen, just going to practice from Coach Wilson?
Well, she's an intense coach. She wants to be more hands-on than I think Tina Keel was. I know Coach Andy Bush was very involved with game planning, with talking to the team, and I know that he's probably for the better taken a little bit of a step back, and you have more of a head coach in there taking the reins, which is what is needed for leadership. So you have that distinguished leader, and she's, she comes from a winning pedigree. She's from Barneveld. She won some state championships there. She went to Stevens Point and was part of a national championship there as well. So she knows the conference, which is a plus, and she knows how to win, and she knows how to recruit, I think, because of what she did at Stevens Point. So the Pioneers definitely got a good pick here for their new head coach.
All right, well, let's transition to men's basketball. Could you tell me a little bit about this team this year?
Well, this team, as I mentioned earlier, is looking to rebound. No pun intended. They'll be relying on 2 seniors, a senior guard, Nick Allen, and Eric Wall, a forward down low, who should, I think, be better this year, Wall, because he'll be getting help down low. They got a freshman named Chaz Cross coming in at 6'9". He'll be down there, probably starting. And Joe Allen, a senior transfer student who comes in at 6'8". So they've definitely got him some help. which was the Pioneers' weakness. Now all of a sudden, a mirror opposite of last year, who's going to shoot the three for Platteville?
Yeah.
That's yet to be determined, but they should have a low post presence, which is easier to build around than shooting.
Yeah. And right now, let's highlight those key players again. You touched on a few of them. Let's see if we can take a look at some of them right now. One of them that's going to be a key is senior Nick Allen. He's a guard for the Pioneers, and he will be looking to improve on his 8 points per game. I think he's probably going to have to take more of the scoring load this year. And if we look next at our next key player, it'll be Eric Wall. He's a forward, but he can kind of step out. He can shoot that mid-range jumper. He kind of brings a different kind of look for this Pioneer offense. If we go to our next key player, he's actually a transfer from UW-Milwaukee, Joe Allen. And what he's kind of going to look to be done here is kind of be a bigger presence, but he can also step out and shoot that mid-range jumper as well. And if we look at our last key player here, he's a freshman coming in, Chas Cross. He's actually from Winnebago, Illinois. He's going to be a forward, and it's another one of these guys that can play center for you, but we saw him in practice step on out and actually take some threes, and he was making all of them.
Yes, he could actually develop into the Platteville's best three-point shooter. Probably not this year, and probably won't take that many, but percentage-wise, I think he could be very good. He's an inside-out player. We saw him get up and dunk it a few times. Yeah. Don't know how much that'll happen because when you're in traffic, it's a lot more difficult, and he's going to have to get stronger. But he'll step out and shoot it mid-range all the way out to the three-point line, and can knock down free throws. Struggling to do it now, being a little tired down low, working harder than he did in high school. So he's looking to improve on the free throw shooting thus far. That's probably his one weakness.
And also, we talk about Joe Allen. I know Coach Gard, at little times at practice, he kind of yelled at Joe to play within himself, kind of play within this fabric of this team. Do you think he can do that this year?
Yes, he can, but he cannot do it right away. Chas Cross cannot do it right away. This is a team to watch out for. When you come back to school next semester, expect to see a different team than you're going to see in these first few games. Not that they're not working hard. They need to get used to playing with each other. That's a difficult task to do. They got a lot of new faces, whether it be freshmen. They got a backup point guard that's a freshman. They've got other people involved, new faces, Joe Allen, transfer student. So they're going to need to mesh and come together, and I'd expect them to improve a lot as the season moves along.
All right, and Jimmy, you also had a chance during practice to talk to head coach Jeff Gard, kind of talk about some of the games that were coming up.
New faces on your team this year. You've had a few scrimmages already this season. You had your blue-orange scrimmage. You've had an inter-squad even tonight and a couple against other teams. What have you seen from your team so far in competition?
Well, I think it's just the biggest thing is competitiveness against the guys and within practice, and learning as we get in to see different opponents. That's the big thing that you're always looking for when you're trying to get an inter-squad scrimmage and then obviously carrying over to the two scrimmages, non-conference scrimmages that we had. It's a fresh face that you're facing, and then you're trying to find weaknesses that you got. They're trying to exploit you in different areas as well. So I think in both games that we had with scrimmages, you could definitely see the impact it was, getting exploited in certain areas. So we can come right back and look at some film and see where we're sitting at right now.
So there we had Coach Jeff Gard just talking about the games that were upcoming, but Jimmy also had a chance to talk to two seniors on the squad, Nick Allen and Eric Wall. And here's what they had to say just about practice and the newcomers for this Pioneer team.
Nick, what's that like, obviously getting a tournament on your home floor, getting young guys acclimated before you have to start that tough WIAC season, get a lot of basketball in?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be good. 4 quick games right away, all at home. We got some tough teams coming in, with WashU. They've, got 2 national championships the last 3 years. And a good Clark team, that's young and athletic. So there'll be some good tests for us. So we gotta do what we can in those games. Get some W's and get ready for the WIAC.
Eric, this is perennially one of the toughest conferences to play in Division III basketball, and you have the defending national champion in your conference this year with Stevens Point. So what kind of challenges does not only Stevens Point but every other team top to bottom bring where there is not a night off? I mean, there's no weak spot. It is every single night you have to bring your best. Do you use that as a positive?
Yeah, just not overlooking anyone, I guess. Every team 1 through 9 and could come out and beat the Stevens Point on any given night. So, it keeps you on edge, keeps you on your toes. You got to be ready to go every night. You got to keep getting better every day because every team in this conference can, play with the #1 team.
now a segment that I'm really excited about. Mic'd Up. We had Jeff Gard and Megan Wilson mic'd up. So sit back, relax, and just enjoy the sounds of head coaches on the practice court.
Because you take that dribble, that goes right back into the defense. We can't spread them out. Let's go. 5 minutes on the clock, Coach. We're going to play this out here.
Block and drive. Outlet. Come on, pick up the intensity. Pick it up.
Hey, where you at? Where you at, Blue? Where you at, Blue? Sink, Joe. Sink, Joe. Good work. Good work. Good work.
Get back. Get back. There you go. Good job, D.
Gerber, if you're going to go back door, give him a fist. You can't do a one jab step and then go. Come on.
Close. Close. Come on, D, in a stance. Get there. Get there. Gap.
Basically, he's in a position, he's playing that pass there. All right, that's going to be passing. Fake it there and skip it to the opposite wing and then go. All right? Since you caught it, your first dribble is right to where the ball came from. Get out of that habit.
Great start to practice, and we've lost the intensity a little bit. Come on, D, pick it up.
All right? Get out of that habit. That's why we turn the ball over. Come on, come on, come on, Gerbs. Don't gamble, don't gamble, don't gamble. Keep him in front, keep him in front.
So we're just looking for this ball screen right here, looking for a double for Wolf. So either, Liz, you got to either cross it up, you got to find Hank on the roll, or we got to find Wolf coming off that double, okay?
Come on, come on. Whoa, where you at, Sam? And you're getting your tail kicked right now. I mean, you are absolutely getting your tail kicked, all right, by everyone over there that wants your spot.
In a stance, defense, in a stance.
Let's get a stop. Come on. Let's go. Team, 1, 2, 3.
Hey, can't relax off the ball on D now. Can't stand up.
Great stuff there from both coaches as they get ready to begin their season. And Jimmy, this is our last show for the fall semester as well. I just want to thank the crew of the Pioneer Sports Report, and special thanks to Ben Higgins. I couldn't have done it without him. And for the Pioneer Sports Report, I'm Ross McAbee.
And I'm Jimmy Flannery.
And we will see you next year.